people hear me now? I don't know if I need this, John, but if you want to put it on, that's fine. First of all, I'd like to thank Rose for inviting me here tonight. This is a wonderful affair, and it's a great opportunity for me to give back and to help as best I can. But before I start, I would just like to warn you all that as a coach, I'm used to speaking in loud tones across great expanses, and I sometimes, they tell me when I get excited or emotional, I even yell. And unfortunately, the name Casamento is not Italian, it's Sicilian, so I am excited and emotional a lot. So, but I want you to know if there is yelling tonight, that I'm yelling to you, not at you. Right? And let me explain what I mean. It's like if there were a shark in the water, you wouldn't want me to whisper, hey, Josh, just a shark. You'd want me to scream shark because your life and your wellness depends on it. That's the way I feel about what I do. If I'm yelling at you, it's because I think what I'm doing is important and your wellness and your health depends on it. And that's why sometimes I get a little loud. And I was fortunate enough to get here early, listen to a couple speakers, parts of their talks, and I was looking at the program and I was stunned by the expertise, the medical expertise. And I thought, man, there's got to be a lot of people out there that are wondering, why would they bring a football coach here to talk to us about medicine? How's he going to help us do anything with medicine? So let me put your minds at rest right now. I'm not here to do anything about medicine. I don't understand medicine that well. In fact, I still hate to get a shot because I'm scared to death of needles. I don't like to look at blood when it's out there a lot in the field and stuff like that. I get a little nauseous. And every time I step into a hospital, I'm a little uneasy. But this I do know about medicine. It's changed dramatically over the last 30 years. From that lone wolf that Josh was talking about to vast teams and groups that work together like pit crews. And I can remember laying on the floor in the parlor of my family doctor's house while he tried to put my dislocated shoulder in. And after the second try, he took his cigar out of his mouth and handed it to my mother and said, "Here, hold my cigar, will you please?" That doesn't happen anymore. When one of my kids gets hurt, he winds up in some medical center with all kinds of experts that are dealing with it. And I can also remember friends of mine who had some sort of degenerative hip, and they got pills 3 times a day and a cane, and then they got pills 5 times a day and a bigger walking stick until they couldn't walk any longer, and that was it. Now, you experts get together, bang, 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 the next thing you know, they've got a new hip. Incredible. And you have your robots, and you have your lasers, and you have all these incredibly complex things in this explosion of information and technology. And you work so hard to learn how to master all those things. And I'm wondering this. I'm wondering who's spending time with you, teaching you how to be part of a team or how to lead a team. Because that's where it's gone. And if you don't learn how to do that, if you don't accept the change and learn how to do it, you risk becoming irrelevant. So, that's what I do. I know how to build teams. I know how to build very, very strong teams so that they create a culture which reinforces itself every day in a culture of excellence. We have an expression in our group, in our program. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. This is all about attitude. And again, that's what I'd like to talk about. But I know, because I promised Rose I wouldn't take the whole night. This is going to be difficult because I'm trying to condense about 20 hours of workshop into a 40-minute talk, 45-minute talk. So I know there are going to be huge gaps in this thing. But what I'm after for you is something like this. Hopefully, I can say something that'll give you just one little moment where you'll write, bang, oh yeah, that's me, or I can do this, or that makes sense. And it changes the way you function. I want to say it changes the way you operate, but I don't want to change the way you operate. It changes the way you think about things. It changes the way you live. I'm going to give you, and listen, it doesn't have to happen tonight for tomorrow. It might take place 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and it'll go on. I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like a lot of you, I was looking to move forward a long time ago. I had a pretty good record, so I said, you know what? I'm going to go to college and coach football. And I did it. I took a job at Hamilton College, great little institution. It was fantastic. And every morning, for 3 years, I got up before my kids and my wife. I came home every night after they were in bed. I never got to see my son or my daughter, 5 and 3, unless my wife, God bless her, brought them to the field so they could wave at Dad. The only time I got off was Sunday morning so we could pretend we were going to church as a family, but everybody had a job. We worked from noon till midnight on Sundays. And my job was to go pick up the film at Syracuse and drive it out to Hamilton College. And so I put my son in the car so I could at least be with him. And I'm driving along, and I'm looking down at my son. Damn, I love this kid. One of these days we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and he's going to be this, and he's going to be that. And we drove by East Syracuse Manoa High School, big high school outside of the city. And there were these girls practicing softball. And my son looked up at me with these big brown eyes and he said, "Hey Dad, what's that game those girls are playing?" Bang! It's like a damn bolt of lightning. I'm losing my son. I'm losing my son. I'm working with other people's kids. And my own son, who's 5, doesn't know what softball is. I went into the office, knocked on the door, said, "Coach, that's it, I'm done." Last season. And I went back to high school. And no big deal. Life goes on. 10 years later, my son's in one of those English classes. I used to teach English, so I can say this. All right? And he's writing one of those silly compositions that some English teachers would give about a hero. And he picked me. And I thought, well, isn't that nice? It's probably my month, because you know every dad is his son's hero. For 1 month out of your life, you get to be their hero. I thought it was my month. And then the teacher let me see the composition. And he chose me because I gave up coaching in college to be with him. He was 5. I didn't get a clue what was going on. Not a clue. Now, he goes to Villanova. He goes to the Jets for a few years. He goes to W.B. Mason, becomes a manager at W.B. Mason, gets married, has a child. He's 30. He's called me every day of his life. Every day. Changed my life because I had a moment of awareness. That's what I'm hoping for you. Okay? I hope I've set the stage. I hope I'm not yelling yet. All right, now, so this is what I want to do. So let's really look at what's going on. Part of the reason why I wanted to be here is last year, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. 8 days of hell. We had that phone call. Hell, I didn't even want to take it. She calls me to tell me what's going on. I said, "Can we talk about this later?" Then she tells me she's diagnosed with cancer. Felt this big. Couldn't think. She's terrified. I'm terrified, ashamed, and embarrassed because I can't even help her. 8 days later, she's in, gets surgery. Out comes this man, talks to me for 5 minutes. Saved her life. I get to meet this man for 5 minutes. I meet an anesthesiologist for 1.5 minutes because my defensive line coach had been the head of his group before he retired, so he came out to introduce himself. And then, that man, the doctor turned around and he walked back into the operating room, back into that section with the doors where I couldn't go. And I looked around and I said, "Well, where's the press interview? Where are the TV cameras? Where's the party afterward? When I go out and coach, and we play, and we put everything together and we work at it, afterwards I got TV, I got newspaper, I got all kinds of people saying, 'Oh, what a great job,' or 'Don't worry, my family's there.'" His family wasn't there. We go out afterwards, alums are trying to buy me dinner, drinks. Pat me on the back, "Oh, what you doing for my kid?" He didn't get any of that. I never met one of the nurses. I never met any of the people from the administration down in that hospital that saved her life. Not one of them. Let me see if I can finish the rest of his night. as I studied, when preparing for this, I went to my anesthesiologist, found out what the deal was. He had 4 operations that day, his team. He left the building at 7:30. I'm assuming he got home about, it's Syracuse, it's easy to get around, like 7:45. His son has got a lacrosse game, so I'm sure he missed that. His wife's with his daughter somewhere, because she goes to our school. I think she was in soccer or something. I'm sure he goes home. How am I doing? Does this resonate with any of you people? Huh? Does it resonate just a little bit? He goes home, he's at the dinner table by himself. There's still some bills on the table that he can look at. Next day he's got to be in early, and it goes on again and again and again, and the stress is there, and there's no let up. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, holy smokes. I did 3 days workshop with the critical care nurses at Upstate Medical. It's the exact same thing. I'm sitting there with them that afternoon, and all of a sudden, 2 ambulances come in and beepers are going off everywhere, and these people are running everywhere. They're saving lives, and nobody knows who they are. 80% of Onondaga County knows who I am. They see me, they run when they see me, but they see me on TV, they see me in the newspapers. Nobody knows who these nurses are. Nobody knows who these doctors are. And it struck me, they don't get to, hey, the creature comforts might be different, but those nurses went home, the dishes are in the sink. Where's my son? I don't know where he is. The stress at home, the same thing. And so here's what struck me. Not only has medicine changed in that it's not the lone wolf anymore, but these teams. But your team in the hospital, your teams that you're working with, they're your major support system too. You don't even have family. You don't even have a